welcome back to another episode of Hello Ladies, where feminism meets pro wrestling. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. I am Sabrina.
And I'm MJ.
And well, we are MJ got to experience, I guess it would have been AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Ring of Honor, right?
Yes, yes.
How many hours of wrestling did you watch live yesterday?
Oh my God. It was, I want to say 5 hours of wrestling.
Okay. That wasn't as like intense as I thought, but you basically watched a pay-per-view's worth.
Crazy, yeah.
Hmm.
I was trying really hard not to fall asleep, and then Willow's music was so Willow was the last match on Rampage, and her music hit, and I was like, I'm wide awake now.
Hmm. Oh yeah. She has such like peppy music to begin with, but the fact that her magical unicorn self comes out, gotta get you
I,
pumped up.
I feel like there's been so many episodes of Rampage where her music has hit and it's turned the trajectory of the show around. So she needs a raise if she hasn't already gotten one.
Yeah, give her all the monies.
Totally.
All the human monies.
I'm jumping ahead, but I have a clip for you that I need to send you because it has Orange Cassidy in it. It was
Mm.
after Rampage went off the air, so it's not like a spoiler or anything. Um, Chris and Willow had a match. It was a tag match against Saraya and Ruby, which was great. I don't want to give anything away. You'll see on it was one of those things where don't read the dirt sheets. You have to watch it because it was pretty good how it all happened with that match. It was great. But uh, so I keep wanting to call him Stoolie because of what Willow keeps
Stokely.
calling him. Yeah, Willow
Yeah.
keeps calling him. And by the way, the signs in the crowd were so great, and my phone was freaking full by the end of it, so I couldn't get all the signs that I wanted to. But one of them was Stooley eats corn the long way when Stokely Hathaway came out. But anyway, so Tony Khan came out at the end of the show. Stokely Hathaway, Stat, and then Willow were in the ring as well. And then so Stooley said, I'm going to ask you this because you're in the ring and you can't say no now with an audience here. He's like, can I get a raise? And I think that the crowd started chanting that it was Black History Month,
Hmm.
and so that's why he needed to give him a raise. And then uh so Tony said, I plead the fifth, and he's like, but I'll bring somebody else out, and it was I'll bring out a good friend of yours, and it was Orange Cassidy. And it was so funny because Orange was just like, he turned and asked Tony like if he could get if he could get a raise for Stooley, and and Orange was like, why did I ask this question? Like, why did I do this to myself? It was pretty funny.
Did he get the raise?
He did get a raise of $10 a week.
It's technically a raise.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Tony said that it was originally going to be a $5 raise, but since Tony is born on October 10th, it's 10/10. He was like, you know what, let's just make it 10 for my birthday. That's what his logic was.
I think I would have asked for $1,010.
Yeah. Oh, he should have. That would have been good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a hug at the end where it was like Willow, Chris, Orange, and then Tony in all the corners, and they came together with Stokely in the middle, and they all hugged him.
Oh,
It was
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'll send you the clips later.
Yeah. I messaged MJ last night during I wouldn't call it an ad, but I guess technically it was like the plug for the Puppy Bowl with the Best Friends Animal Shelter because
Hmm.
in case this is anyone's first time listening, welcome. I'm obsessed with Orange Cassidy. And yeah, so him with like a dog and kitties, I was just like, I am the audience for this.
Hmm.
Speaking of
Speaking of
which,
obsessed, oh,
Scarlett jumped up and said that. She's like,
we
no more,
both
no more
we
dog.
both literally like jinxed ourselves and both said speaking of which at the same time of like things that we're obsessed with. I love your eyeshadow. For anybody who is not watching, Sabrina has like the most beautiful blue eyeshadow on today. It's making her eyes pop.
Thank you. I actually put it on because of you, because you told me that the blue looks nice, and I always think I look like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. I think her name's Mimi or whatever. But I never watched it. It's just, I was alive then. So
Which is funny because anytime I wear blue eyeshadow, I think that too. She was so iconic with the blue eyeshadow that I feel like that's where my mind goes to.
yeah, I think like an entire millennial generation of women, like I wouldn't even say, because I'm not an elder millennial, middle-aged, like middle millennials, Middle Earth millennials.
Middle Earth. Oh my God. Does that mean that if we're in that range, we have hairy hobbit toes? Is that just like what that means? Or we live in little hobbit holes?
I mean, I think a lot of millennials would gladly take a hobbit hole at this point. Um,
I
so
thought you were gonna say over the hairy toe.
100% over the toes. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, my toes aren't hairy, so it's not that one. I
You
have
know, I don't
tiny
have.
little feet, so
Oh, I can't relate to that at all. Wait, what size shoes do you wear?
I can wear a kid's 4 in sneakers.
What?
Yeah, but I have like my feet are a little wide, so if it's a heel or anything like that, it's usually like a 6 because I like some toe room.
Oh my God. I like toe out of
Yeah,
here. Girl, I wear like a 10.5 in women's.
my foot's half the size of yours.
I always say that like God gave me ugly feet and didn't give me a penis because if he did, he would have made me too powerful.
Do powerful are ugly feet indicative of powerful people? I'm so confused.
Like unstoppable. Like I could have ruled the world with cute feet, you know? Like
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah. Like my mom always says like she's always trying to like get me to make extra money and she's like, "What if you just like do one of like those like foot photo site things?" And I'm like, "This is horrible advice, first of all. And second of all, I mean, I guess there's an audience for everything, but my feet specifically are like caveman feet. So, not going to sign myself up for that."
I have definitely considered doing the feet pics thing because, oh, God, this is not wrestling related at all. Man, is this a tangent. Um, uh, I don't think I've ever told you the story about my friend who tried to set me up with this guy who turned out to have like a massive foot fetish, but also really liked being degraded.
Oh.
And it started off with like he was just like when he broke this news to me, he was just like, yeah, no, like he's like, I don't want to do anything weird. And I was like, what do you consider weird? And he's like, well, I just want to like buy you nice shoes and you would just send me pictures of them. And I was like, I'm already not trusting this. Um, but yeah, it took a very, very like as soon as I was just like, tell me more, floodgate opened.
I have a crazy foot story that I will tell you off the podcast.
I'll tell you
Sorry,
the rest of this
everybody.
story off podcast because woof,
Okay.
woof.
I did. I will tell you a different foot story though. I was swiping on a dating profile and some guy like swiped yes on me and started asking me questions about feet. And this was my first experience with a dating profile. And so I thought he was fucking with me, just being goofy because my whole dating profile was a joke. Like I literally put Waterboy quotes on my dating profile. Yeah. And then so guys would message me back and it was like they were always trying to like one up, I don't know, like do like a better Waterboy quote or like one that hasn't been said before. And so they'd always pick like these niche quotes. But this guy like just flat out went in on the feet, you know? And like I thought he was fucking with me. And he just kept talking about the feet. And like he was like, "Would after a long day of work, I'd love to rub your feet." And then I was like, "Oh, that would be nice," because it was like the first start of it. I was like, "That's like very kind, you know? And then kept going. It's like, and then you can watch Netflix and just sit back on the couch and relax and put your feet on my face while you relax. And then me, I had like this logical brain moment where my mind, like instantly went like with the neurodivergence where I'm just like, I don't think you would. I was like, I really don't have cute feet. I don't think you would want them on your face. Like my mind went there, and he's like, no. He's like, I wouldn't care. You could stomp on me and stuff. And I was just like, okay, I don't think we're going anywhere with it.
Mm-hmm. I think we have different interests, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum, but I don't get the feet thing at all.
I mean, for me, I would say I can put up with some interesting kinks with somebody, but I feel like if you lead with that, I mean, kudos to the guy for being so straightforward and getting it out of the way and like kind of peeling off that band-aid. But I feel like, I don't know, like when you're first getting to know somebody, I'd like to be like a little romance and a little bit like, what are you interested in? And not just like, here's the feet thing that I'm into. Then it just feels all encompassing. And like, I don't want our relationship to be enshrouded by like your fetish, you know?
Well, I have a feeling if they're leading with their fetish, they have another fetish attached to that, which is like not necessarily voyeurism, but something similar.
So they're warming me up for the big one, basically. That's
Hmm.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Because like also, I really just think if like you're big, like, go to FetLife. Like that's the dating spot for you. Like enjoy
Yeah.
your kinks with people who are definitely willing to at least receive talking about them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wonder if people on Christian Mingle get that kind of shit sent to them. I guarantee they get weirder stuff.
Wow. What about Farmers Only? That's the one that intrigues me.
Is Farmers Only even still a thing?
I don't know. Wasn't there like a weird like cow noise at the end of that commercial? Like I feel like there was like a bell and a cow noise, and I remember just being like, "What?"
You're sending, I think, the wrong message here.
Did you ever watch the show Younger?
No.
Okay, there was literally an episode where she met this guy that worked at a farmer's market in like upstate New York kind of thing. Or like he came into the city and he lived in upstate New York, so he would drive in on the weekends and have like and like sell like all these wonderful products from like his goats and like cows and stuff. And she forgot like her purse, and so she drove back onto his property, and he was like banging a goat when she got back. And I just like, oh my God. I just like that scene lives rent free in my head where I'm just like, I can't even imagine being in that situation and like walking in on something like that.
I went to high school with a bunch of farmers, and
Oh no.
they're, and I don't know if this is true, obviously, because I was not there, but there was a rumor that this one guy, a bunch of them got drunk and they dared him to have sex with one of the cows, and he did. Um,
Oh God.
I will say, regardless of that, whether it was true or not, his girlfriend did dump him. So
Thank God.
yeah, I felt bad.
Oh,
I was friends with his girlfriend. That was rough.
traumatizing as shit. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean, I just the volumes of non-consent that speaks to, like that's just a whole level of like, what the fuck, you know?
yeah. I think we can go ahead and say like we here at Hello Ladies are against bestiality.
We're supportive of kinks, with very many exceptions, including this one.
As vegans, we just can't get behind it.
And you shouldn't either.
Yeah.
But don't.
I was wondering if you'd pick up what I put down for you.
Oh
I was like,
God.
flame brain engage.
Is that like the kill switch?
Yes.
Well, let's hope this fire didn't burn after that man.
God. Back to wrestling.
Oh God. I wonder if Tyler still has coffee left in his mouth after this.
You know, I feel like at this point, if Tyler listens to us and drinks things, it's on you, buddy.
Oh God.
Yeah. I know we also have other listeners, but nobody else bothers to tell us about their mishaps listening to our episodes. So
Yeah, if you listen to this episode, tag us on social and let us know if we made you spit out coffee or some other beverage during the course of this podcast episode.
what does bestiality have to do with wrestling? Find out this week on
Instantly our most viewed podcast episode ever.
6,000 downloads. What the hell? Everyone's like, I knew Vince McMahon.
God. Oh God. Can we just going back and talking about wrestling for 2 seconds, because it's been a big week in wrestling. The amount of like Vince McMahon, The Rock, and Cody Rhodes memes this week has been
Andrew McIntyre.
oh God, Andrew McIntyre, yeah. All that's not to take away from the severity of any of what happened,
Yeah.
but it has been a nice little bright spot is the memes to joke about the dark, find a little dark humor and how messed up everything is.
Yeah. Did you see what the hell's Macaulay Culkin's brother's name?
Kieran?
Yeah. Did
Or is
you
it, sorry, is it Kiernan? Or I think it's Kiernan.
Yes.
He he's adorable.
Yes. Him and his wife, their safe word is some wrestler's name.
What? I need to see this.
It might be Danhausen, honestly.
Oh my God.
It's like Danhausen or Kenny Omega or someone, Orange Cassidy. I don't know, someone like that. And
This is the greatest thing.
but I guess today, maybe yesterday, was Seth Green's birthday.
Uh-huh.
And he posted a photo of Seth Green hugging Vince McMahon. And it said, the caption just said, happy birthday to the greatest person I know. And then like you had to click more to see. And then said, happy 50th birthday, Seth Green. So it looked like he was wishing Vince McMahon a happy birthday to the greatest person he knows or the greatest man, whatever. And I was just like, I get what you're doing here, but like
Mm.
it doesn't feel great.
Yeah, read the room kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, it just made me really sad that Seth Green, aka Oz, is 50. And that just put me in a dark place.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's younger than The Rock. How crazy is that?
Yeah. How old is The Rock?
Am I wrong? Oh, wait, hold on. I thought he just hit 52.
I mean, The Rock's definitely older, I would say.
Yeah. Stone Cold looks good for his age too.
The only reason I follow Stone Cold on social media is his cat, Ponyo.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I love the adventures of Ponyo the cat. And I like that Stone Cold has started to lean into it.
It is really cute.
Yeah. Because, like, I wasn't interested in the content he was posting before. You want me to look at your stuff? You post a cat. RJ City's cat, Sophia? Nope. Sophie is turning 20.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but Renee commented on it, and I was just like something nice about the cat. And RJ just responded, like, this is how I get you in the comments finally. Like, I get that. Renee's dog, Blue, just had a birthday too.
It's so funny. I just think about how ever since you and I became friends, how my feed is now like so many cat things.
You're welcome. Being friends with me will fuck up your algorithm. Definitely. With
Yeah.
animals.
I feel like all of my friends have like astrology stuff and wrestling stuff on their timelines now, and they're like, I know this was you, MJ.
The wrestling stuff, obviously, I wouldn't notice. The astrology stuff, that's from you. Yeah.
All right, so other than the crazy stuff that's happened in wrestling this week, like Sabrina said, I did go to Dynamite and Rampage and the Ring of Honor tapings last night, which was awesome. I shared this on social, but the really cool thing about Ring of Honor, so that started off the whole show. You got there at 5, and it was just match after match of women's wrestling. Actually, they started a little bit earlier than 5, so if you go to a show and want to make sure you see all the matches, I would get there at least 15 minutes before Ring of Honor starts because for whatever reason they kicked it off a bit early.
Hmm.
Probably just to kind of squeeze in more footage for the taping. And Brittany Brooks, who I adore, she is a Arizona indie darling, and she has gone all over the country now. She was actually in the GCW, the first Phoenix GCW show on Sunday. She had a match too, which was really cool. I'm going to sound horrible because I can't remember their last name, but their opponent was Jamie, who was the first openly trans woman in wrestling. So she was an NWA champion. And it was so funny because when Jamie came out, I was standing next to Ryan at the time, and I like had never seen Jamie before, and I just like had my mouth open with like their outfit, and I was like, I think I just fell in love. And then Ryan was just dying laughing. And then I found out that Jamie was trans, and I was like, I loved her outfit, I loved everything about her. She was fabulous in the ring. Yeah. And it was like they were both wearing like pink. It was just like a collision, no pun intended, of just like color and awesomeness. And yeah, it was just so getting to see Brittany twice, I was losing my shit. I was so excited. She's fabulous. And so getting to see like a lot of Arizona local talent too performing was really cool. Um, and so it was a whole women's tournament. So literally you got to see 4 or 5 matches. It was all for the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship tournament. And it was just like, so we saw like the first round of all that. Or
That's awesome.
one half of the first round. So that means probably next week for Dynamite, it's gonna be a whole nother like first round stuff with like Billy Starks, Taya Valkyrie, they're all gonna be there. So if you're gonna be at Dynamite next week, you're in for a treat because those Ring of Honor tapings are going to be awesome. Or actually, sorry, it might be Collision, which will be in Henderson, Nevada this Saturday. Or when we upload this, it'll be last weekend. So sorry you missed it.
Sorry you missed it, losers.
I thought about driving to that. It's 6 hours away, and I'm just like, oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, because I mean you'd get to see the whole first round then, right? Of that tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so awesome when you posted that it was the tournament. I was just like, what a perfect one for you to go to. Like you're actually gonna get to see women's wrestling.
So much women's wrestling. Between that and the other shows, it was like 7 matches at least of
Woo!
women's wrestling. Oh, it was so cool. So Ring of Honor was fabulous. Diamante has like the coolest fucking entrance ever. Like I love when she comes out with like the kind of thing, and like I'm standing there and like I was trying to like do it, but I couldn't do it as cool as her. And like I kept trying to get videos, and I feel like I'm always a half second behind. So it's
Oh,
like the like my camera's always like on a delay, and I'm like, so I was like trying to get her like super cool entrance, and it was pretty rad. It was awesome because um Diamante came out, and I turned to Ryan and I was like, how sick would it be if Kira Hogan goes against Diamante for the first round? It's like a lover's quarrel. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm like trying to like film something, and then like Ryan's like, because he sees Kira Hogan's like Titantron pop up. He's like, you were right, you were right.
you're like, I am psychic.
I guess.
Or the booker, like I am we have been surmising this whole time.
Wahahaha.
Mhm. Um, so was all of Ring of thought, well, I mean, we'll know this by the time this airs. Was all of Ring of Honor then basically the first round?
Yes. Yeah, so it's kind of confusing to explain, and the way they kept saying it too was very confusing. They said in the first round of it, like the way they worded it was very confusing because they said it for every match, and I was like, okay, it's all part of the first round is what they mean to say, but it's the first half of the first round, and then the second half of the first round will be on it sounds like it's going to be before Collision.
I feel like AEW's really good at doing that, making something that should be simple sound really complicated.
I thought I misheard it at first. I wish I remembered the exact wording they used, but I was like, what? And then Ryan was just, I don't know.
They're doing something, I think. I don't know. I'm just here to watch the show.
I know. So we got to see Queen Aminata. We got to see Diamante. We got to see Mercedes. We got to, not that Mercedes. Sorry, everybody, don't get
Martinez?
super excited. Mercedes Martinez, thank you. Yes, it was awesome. And so, yeah, y'all are in for a treat. Whoever goes to that Henderson, Nevada show, because you're literally going to get to see Billy Starks. You're going to get to see Taya Valkyrie. It's going to be sick.
Um, okay. So moving into Dynamite. I don't know why I've decided to say it like this for this episode, but it's happening. So, um, what I'm sure your favorite match was probably Sting and Darby Allin for
Mhm.
the titles. But other than that, what were your high points being there live?
Oh my goodness. I can't even remember what the first match was. I'm like
Hangman
blanking.
versus why am I blanking? Swerve Strickland.
I feel like that was my favorite match of the night, to be honest with you. But Darby and Sting was sick. I'm sure you saw how Sting climbed up on the top of the entrance and did that. Oh my God.
I thought of
Everybody,
you
why'd you think of me?
because I was like, MJ's gonna be so happy that she's there to see this.
Oh, I know. I was terrified. I was like, "Oh my God, Sting, no, God!" Like so,
Mhm.
everybody in our section was just like, "Don't die. You can still have a lot of life to live." You're just,
You deserve
yeah,
to get to spend time on a sailboat.
totally. Yeah, we were all. Everybody was just like, like literally most of the crowd was like, "Don't, it's not worth it." No. It was pretty
That's
funny.
that's probably how wrestlers know it's getting time to like hang up the boots when like the crowd's like, no, you're gonna hurt yourself. Please stop. Instead of like, give us your blood.
Um, watching Big Bill get his nuts racked on the rope was pretty funny though.
I don't think I've ever heard the phrase getting his nuts racked before.
Stick with me, and
We'll be
I'm
racking
sure
all
they'll.
the nuts. What?
Wait, what? God. Oh God. That match was crazy though. I mean, I think we all knew that Sting and Darby were going to take the tag titles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I also am excited because I got confetti that shot out of the cannon. So I had to show that off. I'm really excited about that. I like literally asked the security guard. I was like, "Can I go down there and get some?" And he like looked at me. He's like, "Absolutely," and like looked at me. He's absolutely not. And then he was just like, "I'm just kidding." And I was like, "Yes!" And so I ran down there. I also ran down there and got more because I felt like I didn't get enough the first time. And Tony Khan was walking around the ring giving high fives. Meanwhile, I was wearing this lovely CM Punk hoodie and not thinking about it. And granted, I was kind of a little bit out of arm's reach from him anyway, but I can't help but feel like he did not. I feel like he clocked this at least for a split second. And so
He's
like I
probably
messaged.
he's scared for his life, MJ. You scared the man for his life.
I was bummed because he was starting to come back around the ring, but then security ushered us out, and I was like, "Oh, I missed my opportunity to say hi to Tony." But I did get to fist bump Justin Roberts, so that was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
And Ryan was like, "That man wears a lot of jewelry." Justin Roberts was like blinged out. He had like a whole like bracelet with like big diamonds on it and crazy stuff. Like he was like very decked out.
Justin Roberts looks like he wears too much cologne.
Okay. As someone who sees themselves spending the rest of their life with Dolph Ziggler, aka Nick Nemeth, and that's his best friend, I feel like I can't comment on that.
So I'm going to say that you see what I see. I'm
I
not
do
saying he does, but he looks like he wears too much cologne.
He's very tan. Like way tanner up close than like I realized. He's very tan.
So it's not the screen doing it, the filter that they have for him.
Speaking of which, when are we going to see MJF back? I miss my champion.
Same. Same.
It's not the same without his energy. Okay, Dynamite was amazing though. The whole entire show, I was like completely lucky that I got to be there for that. Like Swerve and Hangman had so many good spots. I
Yeah.
love that the first table break wasn't impressive enough, and you could see on Swerve's face he was kind of like, "Oh shit,"
Hmm.
and so he got out another table and just did it again, and that was great.
Those two have such a great rivalry and they work so well together. Like, I hope that they have a rivalry that lasts a decade. Like, you know, those people that just keep coming back together and they're like, you again? Like, I want that for them.
I feel like these two are going to be having like street fights in the nursing home someday.
Yeah. And then, like, having tea while no one's looking, being like, that was great, man. Pinky's out.
Pinky's out.
Mhm.
Prince Nana dancing to try to like get Swerve up before the 10 count was hilarious too.
It's like when people clap for pixies, you know,
Wait,
like
what?
like Tinkerbell, like you clap um so that she wakes up, or like every fairies, there we go. Every time you say I don't believe in fairies, a fairy dies or like loses their wings or something. And so what you do is you clap, um and it brings them back.
I feel like you and I are constantly teaching each other things. I have never heard this. This is so whimsical and lovely.
It's definitely in Peter Pan, the live show, and like some other things too that I've seen in life. I don't know. But like, yeah, I remember being like very little and like feverishly clapping my hands.
That
But I
is
feel
the
like
thing.
that's what like Nana was doing to.
Oh my God. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a video game. Like with Link, you kind of drink like the cow's milk or whatever to reclaim your hearts or things like that. And then Nana is your face when I said that.
I was gonna say yes, I know about the video games. I know that's Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
nailed it. You got this.
Never once played that game. I don't think I've ever even. Yeah, I've never played that.
So I'm too competitive to play video games in a way. Like I take things too seriously. And same with like a lot of sports. Like I can't like I love the Trailblazers and I don't watch basketball because I literally take it like as if I'm fucking on the court with them. It's like I know that I take it too fucking seriously. So I don't watch as much basketball as I'd like because I know my limits.
I have played video games, specifically like old school ones. Like I love a good Mario Party. And the funny thing is I'm terrible and I talk a lot of shit.
Wait. Did you just age the shit out of us by saying that Mario Party is old school? Like
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like Galaga or like you played on an Atari or something, and then you're like, yeah, Mario Party, old school, girl.
Well,
Right
it might be old, like where you had to blow in the cartridges, like those type.
That's
Although
super
I have
cool.
played the more recent ones as well. But um
See, I love like Mario Kart is my shit. I can beat anybody at Mario Kart like anytime, and at a party, like a Halloween party one year, a friend of mine was talking shit and I fucking smoked his ass and he just shut the hell up and I was giving him such a hard time after it.
Yeah, at some point, like I'm terrible. So like and I talk so much shit as I am being terrible, like, because I don't care.
Yeah.
And at some point, I will just be like, I'm doing terrible. So I will just decide to drag somebody else down with me. And I will choose that person at random, unless the computer is playing. Then my entire focus is on just beating the computer. And like, I just talk shit at the computer the whole time. Like,
Oh,
if
that's
it
a
was real, its feelings would be very hurt.
so I took someone so I went to SummerSlam in 2022 and I took someone there. They were already gonna go, and so I was like, okay, let's just go together or whatever. Um, and they stayed with my family in Tennessee, and we got in a fight in Tennessee. I'll tell you who this was later. But we got in a fight in Tennessee because they like when we used to play one-on-one with games, they'd be really encouraging and positive. But then when they were around my family, they were just like, die! And I was like, what the fuck? Like a switch flipped and I got so mad because I felt like they just were like a totally different 180 kind of a person. I was very like pissed off because I was doing terribly too. And so I'm competitive in that way. And so I was like I'm competitive over like dumb stuff like that, you know?
The only other thing that I get really competitive over is beer pong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't even drink beer anymore, but I'm still really competitive. Like, again, so much shit talking. There's a lot of me yelling, suck my dick. And
Okay, I've never played beer pong before, but it seems like it'd be fun.
it is fun.
Maybe not with you. I'm just kidding.
If you're on my team, it's a lot of fun. See, that's the other thing, like the insults I hurl tend to make the other team laugh, which works into my plan because I wait until they're throwing, so it fucks them up.
Okay, normally I don't want to like to talk shit on a podcast about a wrestler, but us saying this right now reminded me back to last night. One thing I said, so Jericho and Takeshita had a match, you know, it was the second to last match before Sting and before the tag match at the end. And Jericho was wearing like this peacock looking jacket, and I like yelled at him, "You peacock looking bitch." And, like, and Ryan just kind of kept looking at me like, God damn, these insults.
Gimmick infringement Jericho, like, it's like ordering Dalton Castle on Wish and you're getting Jericho instead. And yes, I said what I said. If I want a man associated with a peacock in wrestling and it's not Dalton Castle, you're automatically the Wish version.
That's fair. That's fair.
I might even mean that when it comes to Orange Cassidy because nobody else should be peacocking other than Dalton Castle. I have a hard line.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You have values. You have this is a belief.
Yep, yep, yeah. On this podcast, we believe that nobody else can peacock other than Dalton Castle.
No one peacocks like him.
It's true. It is true.
Um, I was very happy to see Takeshita win that match. I was also really happy that he put Jericho on the Lion Tamer. I lost my voice last night because I stood up when that happened and I was like, fucking yes! Like I lost my fucking voice.
Yeah,
So
I really loved that because they also made a point of saying like that's never happened before. What a big rub for Takeshita. No matter how anyone feels about Jericho right now, I think we've made it very clear how we feel about him, but
right.
it's still a big feather in Takeshita's cap. A peacock feather, apparently. Um,
Boom, boom.
uh,
Yeah, I agree with that. I That's cool with the commentary too. I was a little bit sad because I wanted to get a video for you of a Taz sign that was somebody held up and they were literally sitting right behind Taz. I don't know if you showed on camera at all,
I don't think so.
but it had a little cartoon drawing of Taz. It looked just like him, and it said, "But I digress," over Taz's head. So cute.
I fucking love Taz. I just, what a little cherub.
He, I'm sure he would appreciate that comparison. I feel
Right?
like I feel like he's comfortable enough in his masculinity. He'd be like, "Well, whatever." I think he should be like,
He's like, I used to rip people's faces off. Now people are saying I'm a cherub. Great.
God, you did sound like Taz when you said that too. I heard it in his, like, your words, like, came through a filter in my brain and it came out like his voice. I just heard it just now.
Oh, him just so grumpy with his glasses on.
There was another Taz sign in the audience too, but they were like on opposite sides. I was like, were y'all friends and made these signs? Because it looked kind of similar, but it was different enough, you know?
Hmm.
And I can't remember how exactly Taz worded it, but it was the same wording he used about like the announcement, not like a special announcement. It was like kind of poking fun at the Tony Khan announcements, but I can't remember what he but it was like it was held up during the, announcement.
Yeah. I love that, like, Tony Khan's announcement was basically there's a big announcement in a month. And we we all know what that announcement's going to be, that big show, but that's basically what he did.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and it was also ruined by that venue because they put it out earlier that day.
Did they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and people were saying like, "Oh, I guess this was Tony Khan's big announcement." I'm like, "No, that's just stupid." And then he was there like, okay, Tony Khan. Okay. We get it. Boston, boss, Monet. Yes.
I'm wondering if since they're calling it big business though too,
Okada
that it could
also
all
gonna come out and
totally. Which is funny because I think that like not trying to say how I felt like Tony thought, but I feel like I can just picture somebody just being like, haha, I swerved them. They think it's just gonna be Mercedes Monet. And then it's like we know Okada is gonna come too. Like I don't know. I just could kind of see it a little bit.
he's just Tony Khan's just in the back, like in gorilla dancing around to take care of business. Like,
I do
take care of business. Every
take care of big business.
yeah.
Oh, no, it's instead of every day, it's 5 weeks
We
from he just changes it every week. 4 weeks from
I would Tony Khan does give off energy where you might walk in on him doing something like that, like dancing around, like singing to himself.
now I want to look up his birth chart and see how close it is to yours because he is a Libra
Pretty
sun and
close.
so are you.
Yeah, his birthday's pretty close to mine.
How do you know what year he's born?
Google does.
Is this gonna be another episode later? We can look up Tony wrestlers' birth charts.
Why not? I will be useless during that and I'll just go, interesting. Oh no, he is born in 1982, October 10th, 1982.
Oh wow, I didn't realize he was that much older.
Yeah. I feel like his hair makes him look younger. He's got a
He's
nice
got
hair.
that big old grin too all the time, like the
How doesn't he look? He should look shittier for his age. Because I say this because there's no way that man sleeps.
I
And he's just constantly, I think, drinking coffee and energy drinks and blowing pixie sticks up his nose. So I don't understand how he doesn't look shittier.
Have you ever blown up a pixie stick up your nose?
No, but I definitely have watched friends do it.
I remember when that was a really big trend when we were growing up, or like Kool-Aid packets, kids would snort Kool-Aid and stuff. Oh my God.
Yep. I remember
Crazy.
there was a teen center in my town and we were there in a room. We were playing some sort of card game, and it was in the room that had a giant My Little Pony painted on the wall, and it was my friend Dave. He had to snort the pixie stick. Yeah. Core memory. Core
That's
memory.
hilarious.
Yeah. But yes. But yeah, I feel like Tony Khan should look shittier than he does, so good on him. Being a billionaire really helps with that.
True. What other matches were there? Let's see.
What
I was disappointed because I thought that Tony Storm would get the second spot of the night, and I didn't want her to be in that spot. I wanted it to be Takeshita and Jericho.
was that the second? So like it's because uh Hangman and Swerve went so fucking long, and I don't mean that in like I wish it
Bad one.
was shorter. Yeah. It didn't feel like, because there were so many like breaks, like commercial breaks for the audience. Uh,
Mm.
it didn't feel like they were the second ones to me.
Well, that's good at least. Yeah, they were the second match. Deonna Purrazzo came out looking stunning.
Hmm.
How was her commentary? Did she say anything? That's the only thing that's a bummer about seeing live shows is I always miss the commentary.
Yeah. She was decent. Like, I don't think that there like I don't think that there was anything that really stuck out to me. Um, but I also feel like my brain's goo this week. So, but I I don't she wasn't bad.
That's good.
Yeah. Because I would have remembered if she was bad. Because I would have been like, damn it.
That match was good though. I mean, Tony made Velvet look great.
Mm-hmm.
Tony made Velvet look great, and Velvet made Velvet look great.
Yeah. And I like that Velvet is getting TV time again. Like, um, and I know like that straight out of your mama's kitchen thing. I completely forgot that that was her thing prior to being, I can't remember what they're calling anymore, one of Jade's girlies. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when I first heard it, I was like, this is so stupid. Now I'm just like, this is hilarious. I love it. She's
That's
really
funny.
turned me around on it.
I like her.
Yeah.
So that was a good match. Uh, there's so much I can't even remember now.
I feel like because,
Oh, BCC.
yeah.
Sorry. What were you saying, lady?
Well, I feel like there weren't as many matches because of how long the beginning and the end went. Um, but
Totally.
yeah, I think the BCC match was the only other one, right?
Might have been. That's the only one that really stands out to me.
Yeah. What you couldn't hear was at the after the match ended when like the Chikaro, am I saying that right? I feel like I'm not. Guys, the guys from the other,
Oh, CMLL?
yes, Chikaro is, never mind, that is a wrestler, right? At any
Mm-hmm.
rate, at any rate, when those guys were on the outside and they started getting like closer to Taz, he was like, um, these guys need to go away from me or I'm gonna come out of retirement. And somebody else said, like, oh, you're team AEW, and he went, I'm team Taz.
Aww.
And I was just like, oh, Taz, you little whippersnapper, you.
That was interesting though that like Christopher Daniels came out and was it Matt Sydal? I couldn't tell from behind.
Uh, it was Daddy Magic and
Cool Hand Ange.
yeah,
And then there was one other guy, but I didn't see his face, the angle he was at. I thought maybe it was Matt Sydal. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe
Okay.
notice. I do remember now a backstage segment that sent me in. I was furious, furious. So I also love Chuck Taylor,
Oh yeah.
and his beautiful doggy, uh, Walter. Really, I am an encyclopedia of like just internet animals, wrestlers animals. So
Yeah.
I will struggle remembering a wrestler's name, but I can tell you what their pet's name is, perhaps their age, and if they have allergies. So
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
also how I am with humans in general. But at any rate, yeah, when the Undisputed Kingdom jumped him in the back, I was just like, oh, heel heat, all of the heel heat. How dare you? That poor
Okay, here's
sweet man.
what I don't understand is no disrespect to Rocky Romero, love him. He's very talented. Why was Danhausen not in that spot? Like, if Chuck is injured, why is it like the obvious choice not to be Danhausen that subs in for him?
So if it's ever teaming with um Trent, nope, I'm lying because that it was Chuck and Rocky who were a tag team before. Trent has a thing where he was like, fuck you. Nope, nope, that was Wheeler Yuta, who he was like, fuck you, dude. Um, I know they are part of a faction together. Chaos, destruction, something. It's a New Japan thing. Like
Okay.
Rocky, who is still actively part of it. And technically, because they never left, the best friends are as well. So that's my guess, because I don't think Danhausen is part of that. But at the same time, I agree. I'd rather see Danhausen.
It's interesting. I don't know. I also keep seeing things that Danhausen's posting online where he's getting like independent bookings and like bookers are reaching out to him now. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a bummer and it makes me wonder if I don't know. I don't know if there's like weird like backstage tension or if something happened. I don't it just doesn't something feels off to me there.
Yeah, I don't. He's a huge merch seller. Um, like people love Danhausen.
Hmm.
Why are we not using Danhausen?
Yeah.
People also love Britt Baker. We're not using Britt Baker. Man, salty. Me.
I know. And I'm wondering, you and I were talking about AW All Access. I'm Britt had made a comment before that like she went away because her and Tony had a conversation that based on negativity from the fans that she decided to step away from the women's division for a bit because they didn't want to see her on. And I'm like, I'm wondering, you and I were talking about the AW All Access show. Did that contribute to that? Seeing how like Britt really did not get a great portrayal from what I saw on that show.
No. Other than like the stuff with Adam Cole, like it was really divided. Like that show really hurt Britt, I think.
Yeah,
You know, it it was really upsetting. Yeah. Like yeah, it wasn't good. I have a lot of
yeah.
feelings about it that I don't want to unpack right now.
Do you want to talk about a YouTube show you are excited about?
Yes. Yes, I do. So earlier today, Thursday the 7th, 8th, I don't know what today is. I was also as MJ knows, I woke up today and I was like, oh, it's Thursday. And I went, oh shit, no, it's not. It's only Wednesday. God damn it. And then like I was salty about it. And then I remembered, no, it is fucking Thursday, like hours later. That's how my day has been. But I feel like my day turned around when I saw Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV are going to have their own little YouTube quote unquote reality rom-com, I think is what they said in their little
Yeah.
package about it. And I'm pumped. I'm fucking pumped, 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 pumped. Ugh, I love them. I think they're hilarious. And they have 2 adorable dogs.
I am really excited. I feel like I'm excited. I was worried. Sabrina informed me that it's on their personal YouTube channel, which I'm excited about. It's not like an AEW affiliated product, it sounds like.
I think it's going to be on AEW's YouTube. Um,
Oh.
that being said, at least going off of like how Hey EW is, Tony Khan gives RJ a blank slate and is like, do whatever you want. Here's a room, have fun. And I think RJ does the editing or like
Oh, really?
whatever with it. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
that's just what I've gleaned from things he has said in interviews about it. Um, so he seems like, and from other things that he's very, like, yeah, like it's the YouTube, do what the fuck you want. Um, just, don't have your dick out or whatever. Don't get us demonetized. I don't care what
Just
else you do.
just having your butt out on TikTok though is okay. The underwear. Sabrina sent me a
Oh,
TikTok with RJ City the other day where he was trying to remove the tag from the inside of his underwear, and then so he ended up ripping a giant hole in the back of his underwear, and then he like did a back shot of it so you could see it, and it was the funniest thing.
yeah, apparently RJ City does a weekly coffee and underwear on Sunday mornings where he makes coffee in his underwear and like shows off his underwear. Talk about fetish content. Like, because I guess he has subscribers. It's smart business, I guess. But like the cut he did is so fucking weird because it just starts of like him making this weird face and like going like, "Arr," and then you hear something weird and he goes, I got the tag.
Oh my God. Wait, does he do this series on Patreon or does he do it on
It's
TikTok?
YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. For free, RJ? For
Yeah,
free?
yeah, but you can subscribe and make him like sing and stuff
Oh my gosh.
or like act out stuff.
I wonder if RJ makes more money off that than he does at AEW. I can't help but wonder.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
See, this is what I'm saying. Circling back to the I need better feet to be more powerful in this world.
Harley Cameron actually is in his comment section a lot.
Oh, okay.
And there was a thing like, 'cause, like other wrestlers will send him money to like do stuff. And then other people were putting in money to like get Harley to shut up. Because she'll like torment him in the comments, and people will like send him money being like, it's like, so good on his friends for like egging people on.
That is funny. I love it.
Yeah. So that's I've only seen some of his coffee and underwear, but it seems weird as fuck.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. There there was because I first came across it because he does one with Danhausen where RJ is in his underwear. Danhausen is not. Danhausen is just dressed as Danhausen. Um, there's another one that he has Eddie Kingston with him. Billy Gunn. There's some other people too, but yeah. Eddie Kingston is hysterical. I recommend that because he's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you in your underwear?
Okay, I'm gonna look that one up now.
Just and
Eddie
then
Eddie Eddie Kingston is all of us sometimes, I swear.
yeah, the more I see of Eddie Kingston, specifically him like in interviews, the more I love him. I was not an Eddie Kingston fan starting out, and he has won me over hard.
That's funny.
I
I
just
feel like I feel like there's definitely a likability to him. Like
mhm.
he's just his down to earthness, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel like also, so that all access thing was good for Eddie Kingston. It showed him to be more like likable.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see him often, but when you did, it was just like, what a little cutie pie.
Oh, that's cute. I know there were rumors for a while that him and Ruby were dating.
Yeah, they're just good friends apparently.
Yeah.
I think she is dating someone though. I don't know. I know
Dun
she
dun
lives
dun.
I know she lives on the farm with Liv Morgan and Bo Dallas.
Oh, does she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just I just love her.
She's rad.
Yeah. Um, all right. Is there any other thoughts you have about Dynamite?
I wish I would have got more photos of some of the great signs. Like I said, I was trying to get a photo of someone held up a sign by the entry ramp that was like, I only came here for Takeshita. And I was like, that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. He is a talented man, a beautiful man, and he seems funny as fuck.
I know. And he seems so nice. Like he's the kind of person that I'm like, I just look at him and I'm like, I've seen him in interviews and stuff. He's just like kind and
Mm-hmm.
cool. And I'm like, he's like that when you like men always say this, right? Like the kind of girl you bring home to mom and dad kind of thing. But he has that energy of like you bring him around your friends, everybody likes him. He's just cool. Like,
Yeah. The
you
fun,
know, that your friend leans over and is like, don't let this one get away, kind of like energy, you know?
yeah. I feel like so I think as a baby face, he doesn't need a manager because like I think he has a natural sweetness that translates very well on
Yeah,
screen. Like he is very likable. As a heel, I think he needs Don Callis because like I think without Don Callis, I wouldn't buy him as a jerk.
that's fair.
But I also wonder if it's pretty privilege coming through on that. You know, like
So you're saying that the black Trunks version of his normal Trunks doesn't show he's the evil bad guy to you enough?
nope. Nope. He's a little bit more. A little bit more. But yeah. No, there's definitely like you know in wrestling like there are some heels where you're just like you're gonna have to do a lot more work to get me to boo you. Your face is just too pretty.
Totally.
And that works for both men and women.
Has Orange Cassidy ever been a heel?
Not for me. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean though. There's some people that just are not believable as heels. In the same way that some people are great at promos and wrestling, and some people are only good at promos and only good at wrestling.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine Willow as a heel?
No.
She'd just be like, Grr, I hope your coffee's cold and not like the kind that you order cold.
Okay. But if she played it like that, that would be so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Yes. That
I
would be
would
the
love
only
this.
believable thing. Her being like, I'm edgy. Look at me. This is not reusable.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
I'm not going to recycle this.
Unrelated to AEW, but Chris Van Vliet had Chelsea Green on the podcast for today's episode. Today, as in Thursday, the 8th of February, 2024.
Chelsea
Um,
Green.
yeah. Oh, you know. And she did talk about that a little bit, like how she loves the way Samantha says that and how she loves it because she's like, I feel like a lot of men can't relate to my shh, like when I walk in, like the little thing she does like that. She's like, but men can really get into the way that Samantha says my name when I come out. So they've kind of like put that, you know what I mean? That's their thing they latch onto about her. And she's like, so she likes that. So it was
Mhm.
kind of cool. Like it was really smart, like marketing essentially to think about it like that. It was kind of cool.
I I'm so happy that everyone is on the Chelsea Green train now.
Yes. I wanted to bring her up though because she mentioned something I thought was really interesting. And I was like, I want to talk to Sabrina about this. Um, so she was a really big fan of the Divas era in wrestling because she loved just like the whole like the femininity, like the all the aesthetic kind of in that sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she feels like her and Maxine Dupree should have been in the Divas era. And she also says that she was trying to pitch a character, but it got totally rejected, where she wanted to kind of pitch a character that was kind of like in that era, like that, like who like was kind of almost, I don't want to say shaming, but it was because it would be very satirical, right? Obviously, a character, but it'd be kind of like, you all should really just like wrestle less and like be less like rough with each other, kind of a thing. So and it got shot down, that and she said she's going to keep trying to kind of get it pushed. And I found it like a really interesting thing where we're trying really hard to like have progress in women's wrestling. And I feel like we're just not there as a culture yet to where we can joke about it because it's still such a reality, you know?
Yeah, I exactly that. Um, I wonder how Maxine feels about that comment. Because like she's not wrong about like where Maxine is right now, character-wise. She would have fit well in the Divas era. Chelsea Green would not have, because who could have wrestled at her level back then?
Well, that's the thing that I get frustrated about when I think back to like there's a lot of women that were very good and capable back then, but they just weren't given one, you already know. This is me telling you the things you already know. The time, they weren't given the time, and they weren't allowed like that comment that I shared about that, oh my God, Tori Wilson said on Chris Van Vliet's podcast last week about how Fit Finley would say, no, don't do that, it's too much, so they were constantly blocked. But yeah, I feel like that too. I think it's easy, like when you're actively in a different time period, to be nostalgic for a time period you weren't part of, right?
Yeah.
And so she was such a big Kelly girl that she's like, my first gear was based off of Kelly. Like she's like, that's the reason I wear gauntlets, like all of these things, right? And so it would I might send you like the timestamp to listen to between that because I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. It's just hearing the way that she explained it was really interesting.
I think that it's very important that we are in a stage right now in society where women can show femininity and strength at the same time.
Yeah,
Um, because femininity, girly things, that does not mean inferior or less strong or anything.
yeah.
That being said, I hate Kelly Kelly. I've always hated her, and she symbolizes everything about that era that I despise. And the second she is brought up, I just get sour to my soul, to my very core. Um, and it's probably really unfair that I have thrust all of this upon that one woman. But when I say I despise her, I mean it.
Was there one, so for full transparency on me, people who've been listening for a while would know that when Kelly was really popular was when I was kind of going in and out of watching wrestling. So I really only saw like the tail end, I think, of her career. So I don't know, was there like a specific thing that was just like, or was it just,
Her entire career, like, so, because some people listening to me right now might be like, but you really like Tori Wilson or even a Stacy Keibler. And yes, both of them showed an interest in wrestling and wanting to improve and not look like idiots and not hurt people and yada, yada, yada. My understanding from things I've heard about Kelly Kelly from people who worked with her, and I think she might have even said this, she had no interest in learning how to wrestle. And she was their champion for a long time. Um,
mm,
she she didn't have an interest in any of it. Like, and yeah, that's why I dislike her.
Doesn't she wrestle like for some, is it an independent promotion now? I can't remember where she's at.
I
I feel like she's still active.
no, I don't follow her because if I were to follow her, I would be actively wishing harm on someone, and I don't want to do that.
Dang.
Like, and again, it's very much so. I'm sure she as a person is fine. Oh, I feel like she did so much damage to something that I love so very much and like really held back and it's also the people behind the scenes, obviously. They are more so to blame because but she symbolizes all the issues to me.
Yeah.
So, um those are my feelings. They are not necessarily rational, and I understand that, and I'm working on it.
Well, at least you're open about it. I don't know. I feel like everyone has that one, at least one wrestler that they like attach certain like either memories to, or like what you're saying with Kelly makes sense because she was like this symbol of so much of what at the time was so frustrating for women's wrestling fans, you know? And so I can pick up on what you're feeling there.
Yeah, yeah. She is the devil.
Bobby?
Yeah, yeah, yes. Shh, that woman's the devil. But anything else that you have for the Dynamite?
Nothing for Dynamite.
Alrighty. So
Other than the
we
fact that it was Dynamite.
um alrighty. So we shall wrap up this episode. And catch you back next week, as always. Oh, in the name
And
of our, I almost fucked it up. In the name of our Lord and Savior,
John Cena.
hustle,
Hustle,
loyalty,
loyalty,
and
and
respect.
just
Yabba do.
yabba do.